In this week's Do Something With Your Marketing, I want to encourage you to take a look at the Document Don't Create framework. This is something that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about a lot, about when, in the world of content marketing, if you want to be able to create content at scale, at volume, the ability to make a lot of stuff, you have to document what you're doing during your day as opposed to creating content, especially for social media or for YouTube or for whatever, because it just takes too much time otherwise. But if you're already recording, then you can just edit what you're doing. Now, there are a whole bunch of considerations that go into this. Key among them is how many resources you have to work with. If you're Gary, you have a team of 21 people, at least according to one of his most recent podcasts, 21 people who follow you around all day, documenting and editing and slicing and dicing and making that content. Most of us, myself included, are not lucky enough to have a team of 21 people doing that for us. So we have to figure out, how do we take the idea, take the advice, and scale it down to something practical. The good news is, especially if you are in marketing, there are opportunities throughout your regular work processes where you can implement this advice in which it makes sense to do so. It's not overly difficult to do so, and you can still make a lot from it. So what you're going to need is, obviously, if you're doing your primary business on like a mobile device, you'll want to either have a second mobile device or a second camera or something that can do the video recording. You can pick up relatively inexpensive, like previous generation GoPro cameras. You can pick up like this DJI camera for a couple $100. If you are resource tight, like the older GoPro cameras that film at 1080p, which is standard HD, you can pick up for like $99 or less, and as long as they're working, they're great. You won't need much more than that to begin with. What you'll need to do is to find a place to do the filming. I personally like my car, and the reason I like my car is because a car is a really great sound studio, in that cars are designed to have a lot of audio muffling, acoustic muffling, because they're naturally loud vehicles. And if you ever drive behind a car on the road and its muffler's missing, you know how loud those things are. So when a car is not on, when it's not in motion, it's actually a really great place to record video because the audio will be good. You can be close to the camera, you can be doing stuff, and you can get really, really nice, very little background noise. Otherwise, an office or a conference room will do just fine. So what do you record? Like, okay, it sounds pretty obvious as to how to record. What do you record? What are the situations where you would be talking to somebody else in a meaningful way, in which you could be discussing things that would be safe to record, that probably wouldn't be under NDA, and that wouldn't be giving away the secret sauce? There's 4 categories. Number 1, podcasts. If you are recording a podcast, whether it's your own, whether it is your guest appearing on somebody else's, that is the perfect time to have that video camera right up, right next to you, and have it be filming you. Now, you're not going to publish the whole thing as is, because there will be long stretches of, you just kind of sitting there nodding, but there will be those really punchy 1 or 2 minute segments throughout the video where you can take excerpts out of that and edit it and publish it as like Instagram video or YouTube video and things. And it looks and sounds great because you're already thinking, okay, I don't want to say anything that's valueless anyway. So let's come up with something intelligent to say. And so that ability to record that video, especially if the podcast that you're working on isn't a video podcast, is a great opportunity to put that to use. So that's number 1. Number 2, media interviews. Very often, if you are doing a good job with your public relations, you'll be doing some kind of media interviews. Now, it might be talking to somebody on their blog, but it could also be very well like TV, radio. I did a piece recently for Sirius Radio in Canada, of all places. And of course, if you're doing that at your desk, stick up the camera and record your end of it. Now, with interviews, be sure to be compliant with local laws. If you have to, you may have to disclose that you are recording. But again, this is a situation where presumably the other person is recording or broadcasting live, so everyone is aware that this is a recorded environment. The third is sales meetings. So if you are on a sales call or a sales meeting and you have the video camera and it's recording your end only. Make sure it's recording your end only, not what the other person is saying, because you don't want to disclose any confidential information. set up your camera, and then again, you can record anything you might say that is useful, is valuable, as long as it's not proprietary. So if you're talking to a coffee company, you probably don't want to disclose their name until you figure out whether you've won or lost the business, but have the video available so that if you don't win and you are thoughtful about what you talk about on the phone in a sales meeting, you can repurpose that. So if I'm talking to Starbucks, I say, coffee companies have a lot of opportunities in machine learning and go on and so forth. And then if I'm thoughtful about what I say, I'll be able to excerpt that, and it doesn't have the Starbucks name in there, and I could repurpose that for public use, especially if it's only like 15 or 30 seconds. And finally, of course, conferences and events. If you're at a conference or if you're at an event, it's a great opportunity to document the stuff that you are seeing. I like to do day after reviews. So if you're sitting in your hotel room anyway, I love West Coast conferences for this because I typically am up and awake and around at East Coast time, and the event won't start for another 5 hours. So it's a great time to record some thoughts about what happened the previous day, because probably going to be thinking about it anyway. And especially if you've got those weird periods of dead time, great opportunity to create content that offers your unique point of view about why something is important, why people should pay attention to a certain thing. And it doesn't even need to be an event you're at. So, for example, as of this recording, South by Southwest is going on. I'm not at South by Southwest. I'm in my basement. But using social media monitoring tool, I can look at what's being discussed, and if I have something of value to say, I can create some content around that. And and if you're going to read about it anyways, take a few moments as you're reading it, as you're processing it, to offer some commentary. Again, remember that the magic of this is not going to be in the recording itself, because like on a phone call or a podcast, or even if you're reviewing data, there will be long stretches of just dead air. But the magic is in the editing. When you take that editing, you splice out that 30 seconds, that 15 seconds where you say something interesting, and you make use of that. That's the document don't create strategy, is take the pieces that and it doesn't have to be like brilliant insights. It could simply be, well, that's not the best thing I've seen all day. Or if, say, we're looking at South by Southwest footage, and we're looking at some of the things people are discussing, going, I don't know about that. What do you think? Remember, when you're doing this stuff, especially if you're doing sort of the running commentary of some data that you're looking at or an event you're looking at, talk to somebody else. So you may have a camera, you may be by yourself, but talk to that other person that you have in mind. That's Ann Hanley's Warren Buffett Doris advice. Talk to Doris. Talk to one person that you're on the other end of. So if I'm reading this thing, I might be thinking to myself, maybe I want to talk to my CEO, Katie, and I'll read with that and sort of offer verbal commentary with that perspective of, well, what do you think about that? I mean, we do that sort of, but what do you think? So that it comes across as not just you randomly scrolling through articles, but there's some real personality behind it. So those are 4 opportunities to follow that document don't create advice, which I think has a place in your toolbox, in your content marketing toolbox. Is it the only thing you should do? No. Is it something you should try? Yes. Give it a shot. See how it works for you. And let me know what you think. Just hit reply in the newsletter if you're doing it right now and it's working for you. If you found some neat tips or tricks that make it better, would love to hear what you're doing with that particular piece of advice. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.